Hi guys, welcome back to the shit show. Good news though, the car is almost finished. When the whole engine is done and it's back in the car, we're gonna reinforce the subframe because that is a problem with this car as well. When you're checking on the subframe cracks, make sure that they are fixable, because if they are too far gone, that could mean that your car is totaled, or you need to get new floor in. It's difficult to detect these cracks when the subframe is still in place, so remove the subframe for more visibility. Together with removing your gas tank and your rear seats, because you're welding in there and shit could go terribly wrong. The cracks are usually in the same spot, so when you see them, mark them with a marker so you don't miss any of them. If you don't reinforce your subframe on the E46, there is 100% chance of failing. This is even something that is common in the 330i's. But all this is for in a different video. We're gonna start off with the engine, of course. The beating heart of the car. Everything we did on the car already is this, which I think is quite a lot for an engine that which you don't see and which we don't know much history of. It's not a full rebuild of the car. It's just like being preventative with the stuff and making sure that things that could be preventative actually. So yeah. So the first thing we have to do is actually get a liquid seal on special places to install the gasket, because apparently that's very much needed.
Dat is wel dik mijn mond.
Ja, dat nu weet ik niet wel. Of wel?
Jawel.
Okay. Next up is the gasket, obviously, and we have locating tabs. I'm quite incapable of doing anything practically, so I hope this is gonna go well. Obviously, it's not only that one, we also have different gaskets as well that have to be in there, but I'm not gonna go over all the stuff we already did because I think it's getting kind of boring, so I'm not gonna do that. These are the old ones that have to come out, and these are the new ones, so yeah, we have to switch them up. Well, it's all easier said than done. They are quite tight in there, so I found like a better way to do it, and it's by just getting these rubbers over your screw, and I just can screw them in like that. It's less of a struggle. Yeah. When the new ones are in, we're all said and done, and we can screw the valve cover back on. Everything has to be tightened to 12 Newton meter.
But that's not how you use a moment key.
Yeah, but that's multitasking for the moment. Next up are the spark plugs. I just removed these O2 sensors from here because I have new exhaust headers for my engine. This is part of it, and I'm really curious. Shit, takes so many years. And I'm really curious how this will actually improve my driving experience with this car. But you will only notice once this part is like installed. So let's do that first. Also a very known thing on the S54 is this CPV, because that's known to like leak and stuff. As you can see, it's all greasy around here. So we need to insert a new O-ring actually to like prevent that. But it's a BMW, so it's always gonna leak and it's always gonna have its problems. It's kind of something we saw over our heads, but as we are removing the headers right here, it just catched our eye, and now we're gonna try to fix this little thing. The CPV is actually just in there, I think, for constant oil pressure, so if I'm wrong, no shoot me dead, but I think it's for that. So the headers are on there, but guess what? They do not fit properly, like they do not fit at all. And the thing is, even if you buy like cheaper parts, I'm gonna pay like 4K for a super sprint. So if you buy like cheaper parts, just make sure they fit, because why would you otherwise sell them? As a seller, you're gonna have problems anyway, because the one that sold this to me is gonna have a problem with me now. One eye open when I'm sleeping. The studs right here are way too short, or this is just too broad, which the original one doesn't have that issue. And here it's against my engine mount, and right here they are not even aligned to each other, which means if I install this in the car, I'm gonna have problems a little bit further in the process because it's just not gonna fit. So that's once again a waste of money, and I get so angry about that. I just have to like control myself, which I can. I don't have anger issues, but I'm just like quite mad at this point, because you are envisioning your engine being ready and being the way you want it to be built, and then it's not the way you want it to be. But I think this is also part of like building cars, that sometimes you have to struggle, sometimes the parts you order are wrong, sometimes things just doesn't go as planned. It's kind of like my life actually. Really? That's sad. So while I'm waiting for my new headers, let me give you a quick runaround on how we completed the engine to be installed again. First of all, we had to remove the rear main seal and replace that one with the new one. Make sure your surface is clean and get some liquid gasket in between there, because that really makes the difference between leaking or not leaking. Why do I look like I'm smoking here? Of course, you have a metal gasket to be in there as well. Then tap it in gently, and the smaller bolts can be tightened to 10 Newton meter, and the bigger ones underneath have to be 12 Newton meter. Then I got the alternator back on there, and make sure this plastic cap is on top of it because this keeps the dirt out of it. Then we have the water pump pulley and get some Loctite on those bolts. Cleaning up surfaces once again to change things up a bit. Applying liquid seal on the places where it could be leaking. This is some pressure release thing from the VANOS, and you can see that there's a little bit of dirt in the filter, but that's not really that bad. And we already have a reinforced seal, but this one isn't, so we're gonna switch these up as well. So most of the things are already done. I'm so ready for the results. So the biggest part is already done, which I'm so glad about, but we still have a little bit but we still have a little bit of work to do, so it's not like completely finished yet. I was talking previously about the CPV, which is called the constant pressure valve, and here, this is the new one, this is the old one, and the seal, you can see, looks a lot different than the new one. So I'm hoping it's gonna leak less now with this thing, but as I said, it's still a BMW, so it's something else you can expect actually. To install this, you have to clean up the spot where it has to be installed, and everything around it that is greasy, just clean it off with a brake cleaner as well, because right now is the moment to do this. The grease that is coming out of there, it's really, really dirty. Look at all the dirt that is in there. What the actual beep. The flywheel and the gearbox have to be on there, and the front axle, I think, has to be on there as well, which sounds quite logical, so we're gonna start off with that. Now we're going to mount the flywheel, and as you can see, this hole is bigger than the rest of them, so this fits perfectly over here. So you basically can't fuck this up. And when you bolt these in, you're gonna apply a lot of Loctite on the bolts, which stops the oil from leaking out and makes the flywheel
What?
Now we're gonna center the clutch disc, and we have a special 3D printed tool to keep it nicely centered, so you don't need expensive tools, you can just do this yourself. If you have a 3D printer, and a 3D printer is actually expensive, so maybe I didn't say anything. Tot zover mijn oncologica. Oncologie. So you just put this tool in the center, get the plate back on, make sure the whole thing is complete, and then it's time for the gearbox to be installed. Which I wish I could say that went very smoothly, but it didn't. That's quite a heavy thing, even though I didn't have to carry it. And then you just tighten all the screws to the correct torque. I'm so happy we are already this far in the engine project. Damn. Now that the gearbox is on the engine, the whole thing is complete, and now we have to install the engine on the front axle as well. Get it on the stable, get it into the car, and then we're basically almost there. How are we going to do that? Actually, I have no idea. This guy's gonna tell me in a minute.
Hell no.
What? Jawel. Vond ik super nuttig.
You still have a problem?
Ja, we moeten dat oplossen. Wait a minute, I'm gonna explain you guys how we're gonna do this. Maybe I'm just making these videos for myself. When I have to do this again, I can follow my own steps. We literally just dropped the engine hoist on a good feeling, and what are the chances that this happens? I'm so glad about that, which means we don't have to like Dutch control so much. But we still have this side to do, so this means that the first step is to get the engine on the engine mount. Even though I was there when I removed the front axle myself, I didn't know how I got to like put it back together.
Amnesia.
Amnesia?
Ja, dat is even het eigenlijk.
Oh yeah, that kan wel. So basically it's just getting the engine on the front axle and getting it on the engine mounts. It's really just that easy. What the fuck? I haven't said it yet, but in this video, this is already day 3. I'm coming back on day 4 when the engine will be in the car. And for you guys, that's gonna be in just a few seconds. Bye. Okay, so I am at home and the engine is not in the car. What a disaster, but let me explain you why. As y'all saw, I ordered headers for my engine. They didn't fit properly. So this girl ordered new headers for her engine.
Wow.
Guess what? They don't fit properly. Can I die now? Like, for real? This is what I'm talking about. This girl didn't saw on the website that these were in triangles but rectangular, so that does not fit on the S54, even though I ordered this on chassis number. But they look quite nice. I mean, this would have sounded pretty great, I think. And I even had to port cats as well, so you can tell that this was quite a lot of money. And I have to return this. How will I return this? I don't know, because this package is huge. So that is also the reason why I'm at home. No worries, because the engine will get in the car by next video. I still need to think how I will plan this, because I will not do another work on my engine. with me anymore because I'm sick and tired of it. Maybe in my reinforcing my subframe video, y'all will see the engine running, you will hear the engine running, but I will still see how I'll figure that out. So now I have to return this whole package. I have to return the old headers. I have to return still brake discs for my E36. What else? Yeah, I still have a lot of stuff I still have to return. I'm already over 1k deep in parts that don't fit. Yeah, I'm not sleeping well at night. Maar goed, als ik het weer krijg, dat is wel een probleem. So there are not really upgraded parts yet or go fast parts yet other than like a short shifter, which is still on the way and it's coming from the Netherlands, so I already had to have it like a week ago. Where the fuck is it? But that doesn't mean it's a less interesting car. So the car will be overall stock, I would say, apart from like the reinforced VANOS, apart from like the ACL main bearings and rod bearings. And I think that's about to be it, and I think I forgot something. But once my car is out of that garage, I will look for upgraded parts. So when all the money is back from the parts I ordered that were wrong, I will look for go fast parts, I will look for nice parts, I will look for circuit parts, race parts. I just need to go fast. I need it. That's quite a sad story once again in the long run because this is costing me a lot of time. But it's okay, because we will come back stronger and better than ever. That's how I'm motivating myself. Anyhow, if you've liked this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my social media if you want to. I would really like to see you guys there as well. Engage a bit with the channel, maybe. I'm rooting for you. And then we can all see how I will be fixing this car, how I will be fixing my S2000, how I will be fixing my E36 and how I am growing along the way. Ja, het zal niet lengte zijn, want die 1,60 meter komt daar niet veel uit te nemen. That's also quite a sad story, actually. Anyhow, I hope that you liked the traject so far with like all the series of my E46M3 and the Honda S2K. If you haven't seen that, you should check that out, and I hope I will be seeing you in my next video. Ciao.